Hey guys, it's Tarot and Beyond. Today we're looking at a message that you need to hear and specifically why you need to hear it. So first, we're going to get the message you need to hear, and then secondly, we're going to identify why it is you need to hear it and specifically why you need to hear it right now. So we've got 4 options today instead of 3. Group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm not going to reveal the cards until we get into each group. So just choose intuitively whatever card feels like it is calling to you. And if you feel called to more than one, or maybe all of them, simply use your discernment to take from within the readings what messages feel like they are for you and leave what does not feel like it is yours. If it doesn't apply, don't try to force it or make it work, because these are general readings and they're not meant to resonate every little detail with everyone. But if it does, it may confirm to you what you already know and basically show you where your intuition has been guiding you already. So select the card or cards that are calling to you. Use the timestamps in the description box or the chapters below to jump ahead to your chosen reading, and we'll see you there. All right, hi group number 1. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what the message is first, and then we'll take a look at why you're seeing it right now. So you have a message from Archangel Raphael, and he's bringing you a forceful, powerful, I'm hearing grounding, earth force, grounding energy to promote healing. But the word promote really just stood out to me. So promote to professionally emote. I don't know why that's coming up. Something about promote. Okay, so what is this message, Spirit? We have the Fool card. This is so, okay. I heard get out and vote. I don't personally, I'm not voting, okay? And I'm Canadian, I'm not American, by the way, for those of you. I know a lot of my viewership is from America. I'm not American and I'm not political. But I heard get out and vote, but this could be something completely different than that literal translation. It could be about a new adventure that's opening up for you, something physically getting you out of your comfort zone. And it could be a vote of confidence or trust, as the Fool card can talk about that. So this can be not literally talking about getting out and voting with your actions in the form of, where you put your energy is what you're going to get more of later on down the line. The King of Cups. I said promote like professional emote or emotion to feel deeply. I just heard. Yeah, the King of Cups is the professional emoter of the tarot deck, of the court cards. So you're professionally using your emotions in a way that maybe you haven't before. And Archangel Raphael promotes healing, like he was saying earlier, like that's been coming through. So I feel like you're doing some kind of healing right now. I'm hearing the word profound. Okay, so profound healing is on the table for you here. 10 of Wands, potentially around something that you had to take a lot of responsibility for, or this professional level of dealing with your emotions does require a lot of responsibility. It's interesting though, because the 10 of Wands is feeling like this hefty or heavy sense of personal responsibility. Rulership, I'm hearing. Yeah, king. And then the Fool here is one that doesn't necessarily take on responsibility. So somehow you're finding the middle ground, or it's time for you to take responsibility for something that you may have shirked in the past, or something that you didn't want to have to do. You wanted something that was fancy free, I just heard, like you didn't have to participate in a way that would make you personally responsible, but you may need to do that now. And this is why, okay, we're already starting to bridge into just beyond the message of why you're being called to it right now. It's time, I'm hearing. It's time. It's time for you to step up to a new level of responsibility when it comes to your personal healing, and when it comes to the personal healing that you create. And they're showing me a ripple or a wave. A ripple that expands out further than your personal healing journey, and how that does impact other people. And they're showing me level of responsibility again. So being in leadership could be part of this, especially since they brought the idea of voting into the equation. It's like, why do we vote for someone? We're giving them a vote of confidence. We're trusting them to lead. We're trusting them to make decisions, hopefully on our behalf, that will benefit us, protect us, keep us safe. That's in an ideal world. But this is kind of what I'm seeing here metaphorically for you at this time. The Chariot. I feel leadership is heavy on your mind, and may have been something that you were avoiding before, even if this was at like a subtle level. Taking responsibility for yourself, I just heard. Okay, so leadership isn't always about leading other people. Sometimes it's just about making your own informed decisions. Self-governance, I just heard. Yes. Okay, so this is confirmation for you, group number 1. This is coming up because it's time. You're ready. Okay, they just showed me something about slick. What are you talking about? They said slick, and they showed me almost like a slip and slide, but it was like tar. But tar is sticky, so those seem like opposites. Well, maybe you were trying to like move your way through something. Chariot does have to do with movement, but it was heavy or sticky. You can get out of it. Maybe doing it in a fun way helps you to get out of it. It's an interesting message that Spirit's bringing through for you, group number 1, because it does feel like there's sort of like diametrically opposing forces here. Even in politics, it's like there's two parties and they are opposing, with opposing ideas, opposing standpoints, I'm hearing. So there may be two parts of you. There could be like a carefree inner child that just wants to run free and not have to care about anything. And then there could be this more responsible part of you, I'm hearing wise head on your shoulders, that knows that it's time to step up to a new level of self-empowerment, self-healing. Self-governance was specifically the one that Spirit said, self-governance. So it's a bit of like a teeter-totter almost. And that's going back to the fool energy, the innocence and play. But it's a bit of a teeter-totter, needing to find the balance between those two. And I just looked up at the recording time at exactly 5:55. So a major change is in the offing, and it could have to do with travel. I was getting that from the start here. Get out, maybe getting out of your comfort zone or getting out of the house to go and do something that is self-governed or self-motivated in its fundamental form, I just heard. Getting out of your own way. Yeah, could be getting out of your own way. Unloading something that was heavy, freeing up space emotionally. Lightening your aura, I heard. Okay, lightening your aura. So could be removing some density here from the aura. So why? I mean, we kind of already asked the question and got an answer about why you're hearing or seeing this message right now, and it's because you're ready. But why are you ready? Why are you ready? 10 of Pentacles. It's time for you to inherit. And to inherit this next level of whatever it is we're talking about here, which I'm still not sure about, but we'll see what additional information we can get. But it feels like you're ready to inherit. And so I'm hearing man of the house. Okay, the example here is like the father has left and left you in charge. Take that as it resonates, right? But there's something about you being handed something or being given something that gives you the opportunity to do something in a new way. But it does require you to have more responsibility. Okay, so let's make this more tangible. Let's say that you were in a particular line of work. It doesn't have to be work, but let's say that this is the example. You're in a particular line of work and you're happy to kind of just coast. You know, you don't have a lot of responsibility, but you're also not getting a lot for it. So you're not necessarily happy with it, but it doesn't weigh heavily on you until it does, until it becomes unsatisfying, until it becomes restrictive in the lack of progress or lack of evolution that you're seeing, kind of like spinning in circles or doing the same thing over and over again and not maturing or getting anywhere. And that becomes oppressive. And then eventually you're like, all right, well, the only way out is to take on more responsibility, which is going to be heavy initially, But because I'm frustrated with where I'm at and I've learned all I can learn in this particular level of the job, I'm ready for the next one. Okay, I just heard Perpetual Child, and now they're showing me the movie Step Brothers. Okay. One of my favorite movies, by the way, of all time is Step Brothers. Go figure. I know, but I love it. And it's that perpetual child. I also just heard Infant Sorrow, which is the band from Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Get Him to the Greek. Okay, so we're getting movie references. Could be a pattern in those movies that needs to be identified here that is helpful. But the main theme here that I'm seeing is like it's time to grow up, or it's time to step into, I'm hearing fulfilling the role, and they're showing me somebody stepping into large shoes. So possibly you're filling some pretty large shoes here in regard to, could be a father, a masculine figure, or it could be your own masculine energy, which is being self-governed. It is taking action on your own behalf, protecting yourself, leading yourself, guiding force. I just heard guiding force. Yeah, okay. The High Priestess. Yeah, I keep hearing it's time. You're ready. You're ready. Intuitively, you're ready. The old cycle, the perpetual child, the carefree living was important. Okay, let's not denigrate that. It was important. It was helpful in your development, but only to a certain point. And then after that point, it's time to mature. And I'm hearing level up. Okay, it's time to level up. There's only so many times you can kind of rehash the same pattern or the same level over and over and over again, play the same thing over and over again. It gets boring, and you're better than that at this point. So group number one, the message is you're maturing, you're leveling up, and you're stepping into more responsibility because of that. You're inheriting that. So it's even like I'm seeing a spiritual inheritance here. So you could be, let's say, awakening new levels of spiritual abilities within yourself. Clairvoyance, I just heard for some of you. And it could require a deeper level of healing. They're showing me the opposing parties again, two political parties opposing, and they did use the word diametrically opposing. So this could be about polarity, earth, right? The polarities, balancing something out, the earth force within you. They're showing me ripples again. So something to do with humanity, healing the self, healing the world, taking on responsibility for healing yourself, because that does contribute to a healthier world. Like imagine, and they just started playing imagine the song Imagine in my head, but imagine if every single person on the planet took responsibility for their own healing. I can dream. And sometimes it's not time to, right? Like some people aren't meant to take on that responsibility because they're still in a childlike spiritual form. They're younger souls, or they're still going through these karmic experiences, and there's a reason for that. But let's just even the playing field and imagine that everybody did take responsibility for their own healing. How much different and fundamentally more peaceful I think this world would be. And we may still have opposition, we may still have different polarities to contend with, because there's always two sides to every coin. But I think that we would be able to meet those opposites more peacefully, even playfully, perhaps. 8 of Coins. I think the reason you've been repeating something for maybe longer than you would have liked, or because I think that it's just, it was all in divine timing. I don't think that this is like you've lagged behind or anything like that. Maybe you feel like you have from the human level, but I don't think you have, group number 1. There was a reason for repeating this over and over again, and it's because it was to do with your mastery. You have to do something over and over and over again to get to a level of mastery of that thing. Like when you think about a skill, the more you practice that skill, the better you get at it. The issue here is that sometimes when we talk about repeating something over and over again, it can feel like, beating a dead horse or a broken record, and it gets annoying. So I think, again, there was a little bit of both here, but ultimately it was for the purpose of you mastering this skill and being ready to inherit it. And it is your self-healing. This is what you're doing. Mastering. This is what you're mastering. For some of you, mastered. Two of Wands. And now onward and upward. That's what I heard when I turned the card. Onward and upward. So where are you going now? Where are you going now? And I think where you go from here, group number 1, is based on where you've been. It's based on the experience you've gained. Cotton-eyed Joe is coming up again. If this isn't my first rodeo I just heard, I didn't mean to say that, but Cotton-eyed Joe keeps coming up on my channel in the last couple weeks or months. And it makes me laugh every time because I'm like, it's a silly song. But there's something about it's like, where did you come from? Where did you go? And being able to see the path forward because you know where you've been. It's kind of like know your history or you're doomed to repeat it. So I think you're getting out of a pattern here, or they keep saying leveling up. The Hanged Man, something that you were in for quite some time and you felt stuck. And now you're traveling beyond the bounds of what you perceived was previously. I did not, previously, something about trees, okay? But beyond what you perceived to be possible. There we go. And I do see here that your work that you're doing could be part of this spiritual inheritance. And I think for a lot of you, this work that you're doing is related to some kind of spiritual healing or emotional healing. And if that's not literally what you do for work, this is your spiritual work. I'm hearing task orientation. All right. And this could lead you into new territory, literally, physically, being called to different locations because you're a grid worker and you activate certain things or things are activated within you emotionally, energetically, that promote healing. And they're showing me the ripples again. So it's kind of like you're called to travel to a certain location. I did just hear Toronto. Something about Toronto could be significant for someone because it helps to anchor certain energy. And it's a high level of responsibility when you go out into the world and do this kind of healing for yourself. But they do keep showing me those ripple effects. So it's like as you call or you heed the call or answer the call that you're being guided to, it helps other people heal in some way. And it's ultimately you mastering this skill. Could be something to do with family lines, bloodlines, something like that. Healing your heart. Returning home, I'm hearing, for someone. Okay, so something about someone who drove you crazy. Oh, and they're showing me stepbrothers again and how the two fully grown adults who act like children drove their parents crazy. So something about the dynamic between parent and child, inheritance, legacy, family business. This could all be symbolic. There could be literal aspects to it. But ultimately what I see here for you, Group 1, is that the message is that you're about to grow up in some pretty significant way. Because you've been doing this, because you've been repeating this, they're showing me somebody teetering on the edge. Didn't we have something referenced to teeter-totter? Maybe you've been teetering back and forth and now you're teetering on the edge of a final conclusion of something. They're showing me the tipping point or the winning vote. It's like there's something that tips the scales. Could even be karmic related, like karmically tipping the scales, completing the lesson, moving forward, being able to, I'm hearing, facilitate growth. I did just hear peaceful prosperity. Peaceful prosperity. And the reason you're hearing this right now is because it's time. You're ready. You've done the work. I heard you've battled the demons. Oh, all right, group number 1. You guys have been doing some shadow work, haven't you? Clearing your energy, they just said again. Yeah, clearing your energy. Dropping some of those old burdens, maybe even burdens from that you inherited from family. Like I did mention something about family curses, family wounds, the cycle of trauma, things like that. This could be something that has repeated, but you overcame it or have overcome it by feeling more deeply than anyone who came before you, and being willing to do so was the responsibility that you stepped into at soul level. Okay, that all just channeled directly from spirit, and it gave me goosebumps, confirmation. Okay, I saw 1919. Beginning with the number 1, it's a new beginning. It's an action, an initiation, a force of intention, I'm hearing. A new start. And then the number 9 is the conclusion, the ending of the cycle, the closure, the completion. 9 is also a highly spiritual, philosophical number that helps us to understand our beliefs, our morals, and all our values more deeply. It can also be associated with the greater good. Interesting. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. Group number 1, this reading, I don't know what to make of it. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I'll let you interpret this reading for yourself, but I hope it was helpful. That's always my highest intention, is that it's helpful, that it's healing, that it provides clues, codes, confirmations, and whatever else you need for your spiritual evolution, for your greatest and highest good, and the greatest and highest good of all. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. If you want to dive deeper and do a personal reading, I do have those available for a short period of time. Spirit didn't tell me how long I'm going to be offering readings for, but I can feel intuitively that it's kind of closing out now. So I don't know how long they'll be on the table for, but if you're looking for one and the website still has them listed, you can book one with me there, or order one with me there. Link is below. All right. Much love, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what your message is and then why you're seeing it now. I am presence with Archangel Michael. I am presence. I'm hearing fulfilled, the word fulfilled. I am presence fulfilled. Some level of spiritual embodiment has been achieved here. Group number 2, number 22, number 25. Okay. Let me see here. What is the message that you'd like to deliver today to group number 2, Spirit? 8 of Cups. Ace of Swords. I heard spiritual mastery. And they're saying on the path forward, the Hierophant. I keep hearing embodiment. So you may be somebody who channels. This is the group. Yeah, this is the channeler group. Okay. Right. Something about receiving divine messages from the I am presence, possibly because you're able to embody that yourself to a degree. Even if the moment is fleeting, there's a certain level of connection that you have to the light, to the source of information, to the internet of the universe, if you will, to the source. The source of all knowing. Temperance. The spiritual mastery message keeps coming through. I'm really interested to see why you need to hear this right now, or why you're seeing this right now. Let's just go into that. Why are you seeing this right now? Oh, you just went through something physically challenging. I don't know what this was for each of you, but they're giving me a strong message about you just went through something that was physically challenging. You may have had to walk away from something, someone, a place. Sometimes the tower can even literally be like you had to move homes, or you had something taken away from you, or something broke or failed. But they keep saying spiritual mastery. Five of Pentacles. It could have to do with your home or your money or your health. The first thing that I felt was health. I felt that strongly. I did just hear migraines. I heard migraines. You're a channel, a crown chakra. I was noticing the crown on the Hierophant's head, and the crown here just stood out as well. So something about your crown chakra, the top of your head. Migraines. Keep going. Okay. Page of Swords. You're a channel. I don't know if you know this, group number 2. I think some of you do, but this is the channeler group. What is channeling? Well, it's connecting to the source frequency and bringing through that and embodying that. It's being that, really, because you are that. You're not separate from it, but it's like opening yourself up to. They're showing me. Well, okay, they just showed me a bunch of things really fast. Okay, hold on. They showed me a garden hose, and you know when you can like switch the I don't know, what do you call that? The stream. Do you know what I'm saying? The stream, like, okay, it's like a jet setting, and there's like a sprinkler setting or a mist setting, right? Okay, so you can switch the stream and let more water through. The water is the light, the water is the information, the water is the source frequency. You can change that, and a lot of people are stuck on like this one setting that just kind of dribbles out. And you have the ability as a channeler to be able to do and get like fire hose, you know? So this is what I'm seeing is, and this may have led to something physical or challenging for you. A result of? What do you mean a result of, Spirit? Sorry. Having a conversation with you and Spirit at the same time and still managing my own thoughts, it's a lot. And I feel like I'm mentioning this in your reading group too, because this could be what you're experiencing as well. Being a channeler is not easy. In fact, I would go as far as to say that it's hard or it's difficult because you have to manage all of these different frequencies that are incoming. You have to do this level of spiritual mastery because otherwise it can be really overwhelming. And I'm hearing the quote in my head, the layman drowns in the same waters that the mystic swims in, something like that. I know I've probably butchered that. I'm paraphrasing, okay? But it's like that. But you are the spiritual mystic here, and you've been through trial and error to figure out how to embody this, how to actually create a method to the madness. Do you know what I'm saying? Like to have a way of managing it or controlling it in some way so that it doesn't overwhelm you. But I do see that you went through an experience. I did hear the word catalyst. You went through a catalytic, whatever, experience that I'm hearing forced you. Even the word force makes me think of I am presence, like use the force. You had to be catalyzed to be able to do this level of spiritual mastery, to be able to use the force, so to speak, Jedi in training to Jedi master. And you had to go through this montage of possibly challenging things that forced you to leave something behind or to let go and surrender to the process of whatever this looked like for you, possibly some kind of health challenges, a health scare I just heard for someone, a health scare. I'm hearing snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. That's Eminem, okay? Something about, what is that song? You lose yourself in the music. That's 8 Mile, isn't it? Or now I'm hearing Rap God. Okay, so look, group 2, you're connecting to the I am presence, which is God. But you may have been divinely redirected or had some kind of intervention come in as a spiritual tool, I'm hearing, to catalyze this level of growth for you. Now, the reason you're seeing this message now is because Spirit wanted to give you context as to why you recently went through this. Now, recent doesn't mean that it happened yesterday. It could, but it can mean that it happened in the last, year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. The way that Spirit perceives time is vastly different than the way that we humans perceive it. Let me tell you that. Trying to get timing out of Spirit is hard. But they're saying that you went through something that was specifically physically challenging for you. It shook the foundation of what you believed, or yeah, they're saying something about health here. But anyway, it challenged you, okay? And the reason that they're bringing you to this reading now is to give you some level of understanding of why that had to happen. Because the way they're showing it to me, it did have to happen. Because it was catalyst. It was helping you in the long run. Although it may not have felt like that. It may not even feel like that now. So if that triggers you, just honor the trigger. Feel the emotion. There's something in this that it had to happen. Oh, the limitations of the mind needed to be transcended through the surrender process. I'm hearing you had to learn it for yourself. I don't know what this was, but you had to learn it for yourself. And there was something about the experience of it, the failure of something to work properly, whether it was your body or something else, that was teaching you. The teacher was in the experience. It was in the limitation. The limitation was the teacher. Oh my God. Mental health, they're saying, okay, for some of you. Yeah, they did say migraines earlier. It could have been also like mental health things going on. On the bottom, we have the King of Wands. My throat's closing up and I forgot to bring my water into the room. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Could have been, I just realized, oh my God, it's happening. Okay. The King of Wands is fire, and it almost felt like I ate something spicy just there. Like my throat started closing up, and then I started getting tingles in my nose after I coughed. And I was thinking in my head, this feels like I just ate like a spicy pepper, like a ghost pepper or something. I would never eat that. I'm not like a spicy person. But this could have been something that was physically unsettling for you. But they keep saying, what did you learn through that process? What did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn? And if I had to guess, it's just a guess, but if I had to guess at what you learned here, group 2, I would say you learned to surrender to a higher will, or you learned to go inward to such an extent that you learned to control what you can control and to let go of what you can't, Because if there is a physically challenging experience going on and you can't escape that, then what do? Well, you can, what do people normally do when they go through something really, really challenging? Well, oftentimes, even if they're atheists or non-believers, they're still going to pray to God. Maybe not always, but, like the plane's going down, or you get a really bad health scare. What do? We pray to God. We look to a higher power. And there was something about this. I just heard NDE, near-death experience, for someone here. If that doesn't apply to you, it's not predictive. This is past energy that I'm tuning into. So don't freak out. But there's something here about this experience really opening you up. Now they're showing me, my aunt actually had several near-death experiences, but I remember after I learned Reiki, she was open to that, and she was like, can you come over and give me a session? I was like, yeah, of course. So I went over and I was tuning into her crown chakra. Didn't I talk about the crown? I did. Okay. Yes, this is how it's connecting. And they've showed me this example for a reason. And it was the biggest crown chakra I've ever felt, because I'd been working with clients at that point and I was gaining some experience in that field. And I'd never felt a crown chakra that big before. And it wasn't like it was it was kind of overblown, but it's like you give birth and then the hips widen. It's kind of like that, but it's like the soul leaves the body and it like blasts out the crown chakra, widens out the crown chakra. Again, it's like that, going back to the garden hose example. It's like you were like trickle, 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 and then jet hose. So something happened to shake you awake in a profound way, but it was not comfortable. Not comfortable. They keep saying it was catalyst though, so it was for a good cause in terms of your spiritual evolution. I also just heard worth the wait. So you may have had to wait for something, wait for answers. I just heard, wait for answers, or wait for the security or the health information to come back. I'm hearing CAT scan for someone, MRI, something like waiting for the information to return to you, whether this is literal or a metaphor. And it's uncomfortable in the waiting. They're showing me like if you're waiting for somebody to bring you milk while you got that spicy flavor in your mouth, that's not a fun experience. But this was teaching you. It's almost like pain was your teacher in a way, and not suffering for suffering's sake, but it's because it held keys. And it was a temporary experience that your soul chose to go through to help to blast you open in this way. So it was not comfortable or enjoyable for the ego in any way, but from the higher vantage point, spiritually, it was worth it. The pros outweighed the cons because it helped you to connect to this I am presence and to go deeper on your spiritual journey of becoming who you are. Remembering who you are, really, when it comes down to it, because you already are the God source. And it's a process of kind of removing the layers of doubt or fear or distortion, the layers of ego that the veil brings down upon us, so that we can return to our true state and embody that to a high degree. And that's what I'm seeing here for you, group number 2. So this was, not easy. I'll give you that. It was not easy, but it was a massive, massive transformation. And it was part of, they're saying propelled. It propelled you forward, or propeller, something about what does a propeller do? Now they're showing me a propeller on the front of an airplane spinning around. What does that do? I don't know. Aerodynamics? I don't know. Spirit? You tell me. What does it do? It moves the air, creates lift. Something about embodiment again, they're saying, and they're showing me the passage of time as like the airstream, something about like a slipstream, jet stream. What? Yeah. It's, you were able to move higher. The plane is like higher consciousness, moving upward through the ascension of the soul. My throat's really bugging me. It's getting dry here. It's getting real dry in your reading, group number 2. So something about the throat, the embodiment of your truth, your ability to speak clearly, to channel. Oh my God. I just put it together. It hit. And that's the Ace of Swords energy. Like that's a literal real life example on camera of what the Ace of Swords can look like. It's like you're trying to understand something. It's not quite fitting. And then all of a sudden it just clicks. Like, oh, right. The throat chakra is where we channel. So this was like they're showing me connect the dots, and they're showing me the throat chakra and the crown chakra. So it was literally like connecting, something about collecting. I almost just said collecting those two, collecting that energy, learning from it, honing it, being able to communicate. Something about the throat is significant. They're showing me something. They're showing me butterflies. Butterflies in the throat, maybe something to do with the thyroid. They're saying progression. Did somebody here have throat cancer, or someone's mother had throat cancer? That's so specific, but I'm going to throw that out there because it came through. Again, this is not predictive. This is all past energy. So if it's not for you, if it hasn't happened, it's just not for you. But there was something of a scare here, whether it directly happened to you or indirectly, that was causing you to go home. And I mean that metaphorically, like go home to source, to the great I am. And to ask for this level of protection, I like prayers, like, please God, let this be okay, or please God, show me the way. And it may have actually literally redirected you home, or something about the home could have crumbled through this process. But again, ultimately, it was helping you to connect the dots, to make some very profound spiritual conclusions. I'm hearing enlightenment. Yeah, they're saying ascension again. And to put your powers, they're saying something about pure, to put your powers of purity, something about purity, put your powers of thought into action, because you have a lot here to do with the mind. Teaching could be significant. Okay, anything else for group number 2? Why did you draw them here today? They said to see the truth. The higher you go, the clearer the truth becomes, they just said. So go higher. If the truth is still distorted, go higher. If it feels limiting, go higher. It's like with each level up that you do, you see it from a higher perspective, and they're showing me it's like going up floors in an apartment building. If you're looking at something from the first floor, you're going to see one angle of it, but you're not seeing the whole truth. And what they're showing me is almost like there's like a giant, like the Inca lines, you know, those ones. It's like you can see it from space, but it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like a weird line or like a divot in the hill or something from down below. So you have to go up through the floors of this apartment building or like up there in the plane to have the perspective which showed you the higher truth. Now, it doesn't mean that the lower truth didn't exist or that it wasn't true, but you were just seeing one small part of it. That's the thing. And so to go up, you were able to then see much more of the truth. And that's the I am presence. Gives you, they're saying full spectrum, and they're showing me like a central eye that can see in all directions, and it's all simultaneous. So it's it's like the, what's that called? Omniscient? I can't remember what but it's that I am presence. It's the totality, they're saying. So maybe you got there through the catalyst of something painful. Maybe you got there through some kind of bad news that you received, or you got there through meditation as a way of trying to cope with something that was really difficult that was going on. Ultimately, it helped you, and it was worth it because it's expanded your soul. And if you are not ready to hear that yet, if that feels really invalidating, don't take it, or just sit with it until it feels true. Maybe you'll come back to it years later and go, okay, now I see what you're talking about there. But when you're in it, that can feel invalidating, and I get that because I've been there. So I have deepest compassion, always. I always seek to understand. And that's what Spirit wants you to know too, is that this level of understanding was hard won, or will be hard won. And I feel like it is hard won, or has been hard won for you, group number 2. And they just want to acknowledge that as well. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that was an abrupt ending, but that's it. That's what they said. That's all we wanted to say. So that's what Spirit called you to this reading for today. That's why you saw it. That's why you clicked on it. That's why you're here. So I hope that this was helpful. If this resonates, let it be what it is for you. See how it unfolds. But ultimately, this is about your spiritual mastery and embodiment on this planet, they said. Planetary sphere. Okay. And if it wasn't helpful, then just move on. Try another video, or you never have to see me again. That's totally fine too. I love you either way. So thank you guys for being here. Much appreciation and gratitude. If you guys are looking for personal readings, I am offering that right now for a limited time. I keep feeling like I'm going to be shutting it down soon, but I don't know when. I just go, I work for Spirit. I let them tell me when and what and how. But if you are looking for a reading, the link is in the description box below. And if not, we'll see you another time or in another space. I love you. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what your message is and why you're here right now. Okay. So we have Raphael with communion. Ooh, I heard great gathering. And they're showing me all these people gathered in this holy land. I think, where is that? That's, no, I'm really bad at geography. You guys tell me where that is. You know what that is? It's like that black cube thing. What is it, like Israel? I'm really not good at geography, okay? But yeah, there's a great gathering of some kind. Look at this. Queen of Cups, 2 of Cups. A great gathering. Like minds. Spiritual souls coming together. For the purpose of healing. So meetings, I'm hearing meetings. Meetings, 10 of Swords. Overcoming the past, I heard. Ooh, they're showing me hate speech, something about hate speech, and they're showing me people throwing what looks like Molotov cocktails or something at each other. Like that feels like some kind of protest or a battle. It's the kind of the opposite energy of what I was getting here from coming together and like healing and honoring what's sacred. Okay, so there's something about healing the past or some kind of fight that occurred. Could be a collective thing. This could be a metaphor for a relationship, a fallout of some kind, coming back together, doing some healing. Yeah, there's definitely a movement together to heal in one way, shape, or form, whether this is like a group retreat or a spiritual pilgrimage of some kind or a meeting between two people. I'm hearing two or more. Yeah. Where two or more are gathered. Or is it three or more? What's that line from the Bible? Where two or more are gathered in my name, something, something, something. Okay, again, if you know that quote, put that in the comments as well. So there's something here about religion, spirituality, belief. Oh, spirit, thank you. They said belief. They interjected. Okay. Coming together with those of like mind, like heart, like beliefs. Oh, they're showing me frequency and vibration. Peaceful protest. There could be something about a peaceful protest. To heal the past. They just said Tiananmen Square, and I think that's where the monk burned himself. Holy crap. What is your reading group number 3? What? It feels like history. It feels historical. It feels really big, like communal. But I was going to say, it feels like a community type energy, like society as a whole. It's not even about you as a person, but you're involved in this somehow. And this is why Spirit wanted to talk about this with you specifically today. That's why you were called to not only this reading, but this group. All the groups have been very different. This is why Spirit called you to this group. And one other for someone. Okay. But why are we talking about this here, Spirit? Why is this important? I'm hearing relevant, something about relevant. 9 of Wands. Okay, there was a lot that just came through from that. All right, what did you say? Something about pursuit of perfection. They said protecting one's beliefs. And there was something about, no. All right, it was there and now it's gone. So I will leave it. If it's meant to come back up, it'll come back up. But there's something about pursuit of your beliefs and protecting those beliefs or standing for something. A conclusion of some kind, I just heard. Something about conclude. Oh yeah, number 9, that is conclusions. 6 of Swords. They said peaceful protest again. So moving to a new order of things, I just heard. Moving yourself to a higher timeline. Because there's definitely some kind of movement here, and it's not just you. It's like a group of people, or you're meeting with someone and it's elevating you in some way. I'm hearing exalted one. What? The Lovers. There's a lot here to do with your relationship to other humans, other people. People of like mind, of like heart, of like beliefs. So the more that you unite with other people, that you come into community in some way here, group number 3, the more that you heal from what ailed you in the past. I'm hearing what ailed you in the past. That's what they said. And it helps you to move on. Brighter days, I heard. Brighter days are ahead of you. Yeah, they're saying something about challenges and wars of the past, overcoming that. The Magician. Feels like the magic to create light in the darkness. Ooh, he's like holding up this, and the light of the yellow was like the light of the yellow and the cresting dawn and the 10 of Swords. So something about calling forth the light amidst the darkness, finding the hope. through faith and through like souls, aligning through relationships that are divinely guided. You may be guided towards certain people. And this feels like upcoming energy. So for you, group 3, we're talking about future stuff here. The other groups, we're talking about past or present. But actually, yeah, it went present, past, and now we're going into future for you. So there's going to be some kind of movement, whether it's emotional movement in the types of relationships and the depth of those relationships, or physical movement to connect with certain people in certain places. Yep, travel. Okay, I was going to say, it feels like you may be called to move somewhere, like not move as in like move homes, but to travel somewhere significant with someone significant. It's being manifested through you is what I just got. It's being manifested through you. Through your faith, they said. Oh, through your faith. Manifesting the right people at the right time, group 3. And the reason that Spirit called you to this reading today to talk about this is because it's upcoming and it's about to happen. They said significant shift. Okay, so you are going through, feels current. Oh, something about current events. World shift. I heard world shift, like there's something at the global collective level that is of import here, right? Oh, import could be import export from different places. Like you're going to a different place to learn something or to embody something, and then you bring that back with you. Not literally importing and exporting goods, but like knowledge or healing or spiritual faith. I don't know what this is, but there's something about a collective energy that's very important here. That's what I meant by import, like old-timey speak. And something about the past, the present, and the future, because I've talked about all 3 of those in your reading. And the movement that you're called to make, something about choices, they just said, your choices. It's your choice. Oh, it's your choice. It's your choice. And they're saying something about a direct route, some kind of not a shortcut, but it's like a more direct path. So you're not cutting any corners in terms of your faith or these connections. You're doing things the right way, but there is something, there's like a more efficient path, or there's more of a direct route. And just, feeling into intuitively the energy of your reading, because I read cards, but I'm an intuitive reader. I read energy. I don't actually need the cards. I just like them because I like them, but also they help too. They're indicators, but I can read without it. And the energy I'm picking up on is like massive. First of all, it's huge. It is a collective thing beyond time. And I feel like it's connected to timelines. I did mention that, but now I want to really kind of drive that home for you here, group number 3, is that this is connected to timelines. And your path here, what they're talking about, it is related to physical travel, they're saying, and other people. So both are involved. But specifically what they want you to know right now, and like why you're seeing this message, is because the timeline split they just said has occurred. Okay, that's all channeling through. The timeline split has occurred. You've jumped timelines, or you're jumping 50-50, they said. Okay, so it's half of you have jumped, half of you are jumping, and it's like in progress still, but it's inevitable. And you've moved to this timeline where there's more collective peaceful resolution. There's not as much conflict, and you're meant to hold that vibration through the knowledge of this fact, of this truth. And they're saying to hold it in your heart, because it's that frequency that attracts the right people at the right time, or puts you in a position to be attracted to the right people at the right time. Because sometimes you attract them to you, and sometimes you're attracted to them. Do you know what I mean? It's something about import, export again. So this could be international travel. This could be over water, definitely. Yeah. Overseas. Connecting with people overseas, whether it's remote or on location. something about bilocation. And they said timeline split, and bilocate is like two directions. They just showed me a detour sign, like a road sign, detour. So maybe you were, you had to go on a detour. What do you mean, Spirit? Or the detour is the more direct path somehow. But usually detours are kind of longer because it's like, oh, the main path is under construction. Oh, okay. They said that's what was. That's what was. They're showing me, when was that, Spirit? Was that last year? Yeah. That was not this last spring, but the spring before that. I mean, it's probably going to be different for each of you, but the previous year they were showing me stuff about under construction. They were like, the timeline is under construction, or it's like it's not ready yet, or you need to proceed with caution. There's still more work to do. And then they were showing me stuff about looping back and like completing old timelines, closing out certain cycles, learning certain things. History repeating itself has been a big theme, especially over the last month or so in the readings. And then now what they're showing me is a year later, okay, that timeline, the path is complete, and you've kind of been running parallel to it, but you're jumping or have jumped onto it, and it's a more direct route. They keep saying it's much more efficient. So what does this mean for you? Well, basically, there's just less resistance. There's less like quote unquote bad luck or things not happening for your overall growth. There's a lot more healing here. There's a lot more harmony. There's a lot more peace. There's less resistance. They're saying less resistance. And the type of resistance there is does not require sacrifice, because they just showed me again that tank facing off with the monk who lit himself on fire. Like, there was a reason for that, but it's not required on the timeline that they're saying new and improved. Okay, like the new and improved timeline. New and improved. That's funny. But it is. And the improvements that have been made are around the ability to, they keep saying it, peaceful protest. So this could be about facing opposition, connecting with people, but doing it peacefully, finding common ground. And they're saying the heart of the matter, and they just showed me the heart. Yes, yeah, all love is the bridge between all people. And if we can find love in our hearts, and you're on the love frequency, which puts you on this love timeline, spiritual love, it elevates you, it expands your frequency, it aligns you. It's like a magnetic force that magically plops you right onto that higher timeline, because you're a match and you've anchored to it. Oh yes, they were showing me anchors this morning. I forgot. And I forgot to write that down in my synchronicities journal. The fact that I just mentioned that confirms to me that this is a timeline thing for you, group number 3, because synchronicities and the witnessing of them, especially the tracking of them, which is why I encourage it on my channel, it's as one of my friends calls it, chronosentience. Chronos meaning time, and sentience meaning consciousness. So it's like clairvoyance is the extrasensory ability to perceive images or information visually that is not perceivable to the naked eye. Chronosentience is the ability to perceive timelines through the interpretation of synchronicities, repeating patterns of information that are presented to you through symbols, images, anything that repeats itself and feels significant to you. It's pointing to something, and it's trying to give you information. I just saw, with my real naked eyes, I saw movement in the energy just above my head. So that's confirmation as well. Okay, so group number 3, you've shifted timelines. I'm just going to put it point blank. Okay, you've shifted timelines, and peaceful future in this timeline is an understanding and an honoring of a peaceful past is what I'm hearing. But I don't know how that looks or what that means for you, but there's something about honoring something about peaceful past. Okay. Looking back, honoring the past. and still moving forward into brighter new days. And they keep saying something about, moving into the future. Now they're playing time keeps on slipping into the future. Yeah, so you're moving into the future peacefully, but it also feels like optimism. So there's something about the magic of your frequency, your intention, your heart, and the people around you that help to expand or build that up. Where two or more are gathered. So this could also be about expanding your love frequency through others who are of like vibration, because it does compound. It does, that's not the right word. It does exponentially expand it. You know, it's like 1 + 1 doesn't just make 2 energetically. When we're talking about the same frequency here, it makes like 4. Okay. 1 + 1 makes 4, and then 1 + 3, wait, math skills. It's okay. 2 people together has the energetic power of like 4 people. And then 3 people together with a similar vibration, all on the same page energetically, coming from that love frequency, it's like 10 people. So the more people that gather together for a good cause, or with this higher intention of love at the core of their being, the more powerful the shift becomes. You know, it's like meditating monks. It can physically change the world, and there's been proof of that psychologically. I remember learning that in school, how in university, not in elementary or anything like that, but about how large groups of monks, like 100 monks would gather, 1,000 monks would gather, and they did register that crime rates around the world dropped at the times that they were meditating. And they did this as a study, so it wasn't random. So there's something to it. I mean, obviously I believe in that, knowing what I know about spirituality and doing what I do for a living. It is the magic of manifestation through intention. You set something into being. Your intention has power, and it has the force to create and also to destroy. And that's why I think that the collective conscious, or the collective impact of the war frequency on humanity has been so detrimental, especially when it has caused so many people's hearts to close, or their consciousness to drop, their frequency to condense or densify. And I'm seeing you, group 3 here, being one of those ones who chooses the light, even though you understand or have experienced or witnessed the darkness. You still choose the light time and time again, and that is your power, and that is your attractive force, and that is what magnetizes you to the right people at the right time, in community and communion with the divine, that puts you on the timeline that is truly divine, and gets you off of the timeline where the distortions and the fear seeding was inlaid into the programming of the war mentality. Okay, they're saying something about neutrality, a point of neutrality. Neutral compassion, something about that. Neutral witnessing. Seeing and accepting those around you for who they are, seeing them as souls, not as the character that they're playing. Something about seeing them from the avatar level. Helps you to see their heart, something about that. But I did just get a message about not spiritually bypassing either. So there's nuance to this, obviously. But yeah, I'm not going to go into all that. Basically, group number 3. To summarize, okay, you're shifting timelines in a big way. And this may reposition you physically within your relationships, the type of connections you have, the people that you're attracted to or attracting in, and the physical redirection, physical movement or travel that's involved in that. And it's all ultimately manifesting from this new dawn, this new frequency, this new timeline that you are anchored to, that you have embodied, and that you have set forth intention-wise. You know, this wasn't an unconscious process. It feels very much to me like you knew what you were doing here, and it was divinely guided. So I will leave it at that. Thank you so much for being here. I hope the reading was helpful. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. But I do feel like you were very specifically placed in this group today. Group number 3, whoever I'm talking to right now, you were placed here for a reason and meant to hear it. And I did just hear for better or for worse. Maybe that's about some kind of union, or, like for better or for worse, like marriage or something. But anyway, I'll stop. Thanks, guys, for being here. If you're looking for personal information or reading, personal reading from me to go a little bit deeper into your situation, I am still offering readings for a limited time. Don't know when those are going to be off the tables, but I feel like I need to mention that. So I will leave it there. If you are interested, the link is in the description box below to my website. It's tarotandbeyond.com. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 4. Welcome to your reading. Last but not least, first message, right before I hit record on the camera, I heard some of you came from group 1. Okay. That's not going to be for everyone, but some of you, there's, I think, 3 people in this group. You won't know that, but that's what they're saying anyway. There's 3 of you who are here from group 1. Anyway, okay. So let's find out what is going on here with the message that you're meant to hear today, and why specifically Spirit called you to it today. Like, what's the reason for that? Why are you seeing this? So we have Raziel with intuition. Oh, you know what? Even the first message, it was like an intuitive feeling that I had, and then I heard some of you came from group 1. So this could be about your intuition. Talking about your intuition, your intuitive knowing. Or I just heard blessings of abundance. Okay, so there's something about abundance. Oh, yeah, there you go. 2 of Pentacles, blessings of abundance. Some new kind of income is coming in. What was group number 1 about? I don't even remember now. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I just wanted to remind myself that was, well, I won't spoiler alert for those of you who didn't watch it or who aren't interested in it. But anyway, there's some kind of income coming in, grounding force bringing in abundance for you, and it's coming through your intuition. You may be leaving a line of work or letting something go. Letting go of an old way of earning an income, I'm hearing. Okay, this is very specific, but it's because your intuition guided you in a different direction, or your intuition told you that you needed to stop doing something and you listened. Or you will be. 4 of Swords. You could be called to take a rest or take a break because something was creating a bit of an imbalance, but you may have been putting in a lot of work or time or energy into something, and it may feel like you're a little hard pressed to let it go initially, but ultimately it feels like your intuition is like, you need to make some changes here. You need to let this go. You need to find what's actually going to be lucrative, not just in the financial sense, but also fulfilling for you emotionally, spiritually, etc. So you may be called to take some time off. Feels like the message is wanting to get you in connection with your intuition. Spirit wants you to get back into connection with your intuition. To follow it, they said, to follow your intuition, because it's been telling you something and you may have been weighing up the options, trying to analytically break down what the choice should be. But there's something about pursuing what your intuition is telling you, because it knows the way beyond the physical details, beyond what you believe is possible. And the 4 of Swords here is like, okay, if you've been overanalyzing it mentally, take a minute to just tune in. Because sometimes the more we go back and forth on something, the more complicated and more muddled we get in our thinking about it. It's like it's counterproductive. But if you just sit down and feel into it and trust your intuition and where that's guiding you, it becomes so much more clear, even if it doesn't make sense, quote unquote, make sense in the moment. In time, you will see, once you trust and follow your intuition, that it was the right choice for you. But you have to trust yourself here, because it's you giving you this guidance. Your intuition is you. It's a higher version of you that sees all of the unfolding events to come, and it's redirecting you for a reason. So trust yourself, literally. I knew this was going to come out. I saw this when I was pre-shuffling, and I knew that it was for you, group number 4. This is where you're being guided. A happy home, a happy family, contentment, peace, prosperity. They said abundance. Again, it feels like income, some kind of income, or something you value, it's like off the charts. They're showing me off the charts. It's going to be so much better than you expect. Why is that? Why is it better than you expect? Why are you expecting the worst here, group number 4? Maybe you tried and failed before. Maybe you listened to your intuition and it didn't bear any fruit. But I want to say yet. It didn't bear fruit yet, but it will. They're saying keep you on track. So that's one of the reasons you've been called to this reading, is to keep you on track with the knowing that when you trust your intuition, you won't be disappointed. Not in anything fundamental or major like this, like this is like a big sprawling, I'm hearing something about life expectancy. It's like this is the rest of your life that we're talking about in this reading. It's not short term, and these are big decisions, but when you follow your intuition, it leads you on a path or down a path that is fulfilling for you at soul level. If you choose to go with your mind or your ego or the expectations of outside energies, then you might limit yourself. You might limit your growth. You might limit your happiness. There's something about believing in the impossible they're mentioning again. So trusting your intuition to believe, because it's telling you something that you might believe is impossible, but it's not. Okay, so why were you called to this reading today? Why do they want you to know this right now? Ace of Pentacles. I knew it. You guys got the live. You saw me mention that because why? Because I intuitively read. I read energy, not just cards. And I felt that. I felt there's some kind of an abundance coming in, or there's something financial. And then we had that Two of Pentacles, which confirmed it. But this is, again, confirmation with the Ace of Pentacles. New money. New financial resource that sets you on a path to freedom. That's literally what I just heard, word for word. Okay? I just heard, don't make me repeat myself. I feel like this is your intuition or your higher self being like, don't make me repeat myself. Because maybe your intuition has already told you this and you've been denying it, or you've been afraid to make a move. But they just keep saying it's going to be worth it, or you're going to benefit from that. And it leads to more time, more energy. So the abundance isn't just financial abundance. It's what it results in. It leads to more energy, more time, more enjoyment of your life, more connection, more security. So it's not just abundance in one form. It's abundance in all of those areas. And that's why it's more spiritually aligned for you. It's more fulfilling for you at the soul level, rather than doing something just for the money, because that's might be one form of abundance, but you're missing out on all the rest. Whereas if you can have your cake and eat it too, why wouldn't you? And they're showing me a fork right now, a plastic fork, something about a plastic fork. It's like maybe you need the right utensil to be able to enjoy both. And you kind of have to weigh up where you're going to invest your focus, your time, your energy. Right now, I think the best resource for you is to go inward, because you're going to get clarity on what your intuition is telling you, and you'll have a better idea of what to do. And you might get an intuitive download of some kind here, group number 4, that's going to say, go do this. Could come in the form of an idea. For somebody in this group, you may be called to buy a lottery ticket, okay? Just don't just gamble for the sake of gambling. But if you get that intuitive download and it feels like a very solid core truth, why not, right? But don't get attached to the idea of it. But there's something about that is significant. They're bringing it up for a reason. 10 of Wands. I get the sense, group number 4, that you're a very hard worker, that you do a lot physically. Back-breaking work, I'm hearing. Yes, that's 10 of Wands energy. He's bent over carrying all these sticks. And maybe you're not getting paid enough for it. And this is why your intuition is saying, we've got to stop doing this. It's hard on our body. It's hard on our spirit because it's not fulfilling. Or there's something about, not necessarily the type of work you're doing, but the way that the work is, they're saying something about unfair exchange. So maybe you're not charging enough, or you're not getting paid enough, or you're putting in too much and not getting enough out of it. There's something about like it's unbalanced or it's unequal. What's coming in is less than what's going out. And that's why your intuition is saying, look, there's another way. There's another way we can do this. Yeah, you're strong as shit, okay? You're so strong, group number 4. Obviously, you've been carrying a lot. How do you get strong? By carrying a lot. But do you need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? Maybe not. And is that fair? Equal? Is the exchange there? Maybe not. So having the strength in this next phase, or whatever we're talking about here, it's not so much about doing the physical hard labor. It's about the strength to maybe take a leap of faith and to walk away from something, or to change the way you approach something. It doesn't necessarily mean that you just up and quit your job because you bought a lottery ticket. Please don't do that. But maybe it's like having the strength to follow whatever your intuition is guiding you to do. And it may seem scary because you've not done that in this way before, or disappointed hopes, they keep saying. So maybe you've tried it in the past, it didn't work. But it's like you had to become the person who could handle this life that you're meant for. And I see you looking into the future and seeing what it is you want and creating that. And your intuition is like the guidepost, dropping hints about which direction to go. And it will be there giving you information, but they did say, don't make me repeat myself. I mean, your intuition will repeat itself until you hear it. But I mean, why make it, if it's easier to just listen, just listen. Also getting a message about optimism, having faith, choosing to see the brighter side of something. Could be also about stepping into your confidence in your new approach to something here, confidence in your pursuit of what truly fulfills you, leaving behind what didn't fulfill you or what doesn't fulfill you, and trusting yourself, i.e. your intuition, in the process of pursuing what is ultimately going to fulfill you, and finding out what that is if you're not clear on it. Because sometimes we don't know what we want. But your intuition is whispering to you about that as well. And I can tell that from this energy, it's far beyond money. Maybe that's the surface level part of it for some of you, but ultimately, it's much deeper. It's the full gambit of all. Gambit. He's an X-Men who used cards, magical cards. Okay, something about tarot could be significant, but I was also seeing something like cards like gambling, and we did have a reference to the lottery. So it could feel like a risk if we're looking at it symbolically. It could feel like a risk or a gamble for you to walk away from something that feels relatively stable, but ultimately it's just weighing. It's so heavy on you. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, you've got these two queens here, and you may want to. They said something about a hint. They've been hinting to you new ideas for projects or new seeds for the future, sowing seeds for the future, seeing future growth. Oh, okay. The 3 of Pentacles was on the bottom, but it just dropped off and I caught it in my hand, but the Judgment card was underneath that. So the Judgment card really wanted to be here. And this is like divine redirection or intervention. Calling you to a higher spiritual purpose, I just heard. Calling you to a higher spiritual purpose. So you could be called to change jobs or to change the way that you work or how you value your work, your effort, your, this strength, the amount of muscle and like manpower, willpower, whatever, woman power, queens, that you've invested here and the results from that. the Empress. Look, you're meant to have abundance here. That's very clear to me. But it may have felt like it was suspended or out of your reach. There is something here to do with your intuition. Very clearly here, the High Priestess is intuition. Your main card is intuition. So the key to your success here, group number 4, is your intuition. And being able to take action on that and to do that in combination with your work, something you're trying to build. Because that's what's going to bring in some kind of abundance here. There's new opportunities. They keep saying something about new opportunities. So this could be somebody offering you money for what you do. This could be you asking for a raise and getting it, demanding more, haggling. Yeah. Knowing your worth is definitely part of this. But they just keep saying doing what you're guided to do. And it's going to be different for all of you. So tune in and feel into what your intuition is guiding you to do. Put it in the comments if you feel comfortable, if you feel called to. Ultimately, though, the end goal here is to move toward a life experience that is fulfilling to you. And I've noticed that in this reading, I've used the word ultimately a lot. And that was not intentional, but now that I'm kind of seeing that pattern, and we have the 10s here, the 2 10s, which is like the completion of a cycle, and the Judgment card, which is the penultimate card. Penultimate, yeah, the one before the last one. It does feel to me like this is the ultimate goal. And you may have to make some kind of ultimatum. You know, it's either you pay me this or I walk. Or Spirit may be giving you an ultimatum right now through the intuitive guidance you've been getting. Like it's either you choose this life that is going to be more fulfilling with you, but you have to have the strength to trust that whatever you're letting go of is going to be replaced with something better, or that there's going to be offers coming in that you didn't see or expect. You have to value yourself. You have to have confidence in that. You have to feel secure enough to be able to do that. Or everything kind of stays the same, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it just gets heavier and heavier as time goes on, because it gets harder and harder to do the same thing and get the same result, and that result not be enough. It's like the disparity of what you're giving and what you're getting becomes more stark, more obvious, harder to ignore. And I think at that point your intuition will get even louder. But why need it to get to that point? Why let it get there? Why not just do it now? And you're strong enough already, I want to say, okay? Like you're already strong enough to be able to do this. You have resources at your disposal, whether it's financial or intuitive, or you've got some kind of backing from the divine, okay? Group 4, like you have backing from the divine. You can totally do this. But it does require a little bit of a trust fall to make that ultimate decision. Again, ultimate, it's like the end decision to move in a direction that is going to fulfill you. I will stop repeating myself because that's the message. And I think I've gotten it across. I feel like I've done a pretty good job. And even the fact that I'm saying that tells me that Spirit is letting you know, group number 4, that you've done a good job. You're a hard worker. But now, perhaps it's time to make a change. Work smarter, not harder. Perhaps rest more, work in a different way, or maybe let go of work altogether. Maybe you get the offer to just retire or live as, I don't know, like a housewife or something. There's no wrong way to do this, and each person's journey is different. Or maybe you get the offer to be sponsored by someone, or you get like a raise. So it's going to look different, but trust your intuition. Whatever it happens to be telling you. All right. That's the message. The reason you've been called to it today is because it's been telling you. It's been telling you. And this is just confirmation of that. Okay. Go forth and conquer, group number 4. I have every faith and confidence in you. Trust yourself and you will win. You will be successful in whatever that success looks like to you. And you determine that. You determine what success is to you. Okay, guys, I'll leave it there. Much love, many blessings. Thanks for being here in the reading. I hope it was helpful. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you guys are looking for more personal info, deep dive into, more direct reading, I am offering personal readings for a limited time. I feel like I'm being redirected as well. Spirit told me we were going to do personal readings, but they told me it would be just for a short period of time. And I feel like I'm kind of wrapping it up. So if you're interested, the link's below and you can order a reading there. Much love, many blessings, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.